What we do here is go back.
This is Eat and Drink, the mini episode, hosted by Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Some mature content and language may come up, so consider yourself warned. Now, get ready for Eat and Drink.
Welcome to another mini episode of Eat and Drink. That's Marco Timpano right there.
That's Ali Hassan.
And we're going to talk about food in airports. You touched on this subject when we did another mini episode. Normally, we don't remember a goddamn thing we say.
Kudos to you, because I put the onus on you, and you were like,
And here I am.
We're doing
Here
it.
I am doing it properly.
You always deliver. I'll stand, but you deliver.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Do we want to change the name of the podcast? Eat and Drink or Stand and Deliver? It's tough now. It's tough. Eat and Drink it is. And we are going to talk about food in airports. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like it's a subject all on its own. There has been this resurgence, not resurgence, surgence without the re.
Yeah.
Right? And because many airports it was. So I have a story to kick us off with. I audition for a lot of stuff. I'm very, I feel very, very lucky and blessed to get a lot of works. But you also get rejected from a lot of stuff. But you don't focus on that. You get to a level of maturity where you're like, whoever. I once got rejected in the very same call that I got pitched to. And it was kind of my own fault. But no, so here's what happens.
Okay.
I get a phone call from a man I haven't spoken to in a few years. But he knows me as a guy who was a food guy back in Montreal. And he calls and he's like, are you still interested in hosting a food show on television?
This is great.
I said, amazing. Yeah, man. Thank you for thinking of me. Of course, Bernie, I'd be happy to. What are you working on? He goes, well, we have an idea for a show. And I've got you in mind for this. This first, it's on email, then it turns to a phone call. So he chats with me on the phone about exactly what this is. He goes, all right, so as you may have noticed, this is going back about 3 years. He goes, as you may have noticed, in airports around the world, there is this new thing where you can actually eat very well in many airports. All these, the Jamie Kennedys, and, Jamie Kennedys and the Wolfgang Pucks and the Mario Batalis of the world are making these little outposts.
Kim, what's her name in Toronto Airport? Kim Crawford. Is it Kim Crawford?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger Mooking in the Toronto Airport has Twist. And so he's like, you can eat very well.
Yeah.
We are doing a show called Fly Me to the Food.
Ooh, wait, are you allowed to say this?
This is from 3 years ago.
Okay.
Fly Me to the Food.
I love this
Don't
idea.
know what happened to it.
Okay.
Fly Me to the Food. So we are going to go. We want to go from airport, to airport to all these chefs and talk to them about their food in airports. So
love
the
it.
show will be in like multiple destinations and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, and I thought of you, and I thought you'd be a great host for this. And I go, amazing.
He's not
this
wrong.
Is great.
Yeah.
This is great. And then I have a little thought, and I'm like, should I say this? I'll say it. I go, so you've thought about this, right, Bernie? Like I'm into it, but this is now we're talking about an Ali Hassan going from airport to airport, customs, airport. I mean, obviously you've thought about that, right? This is a time where I'm like just coming out of like secondary screening all the time at airports. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but this is like 4 or 5 years ago. It was happening on a fairly regular basis. And this is what I swear to you. He goes, yeah, of course. Hey, could I call you right back?
Oh, no.
And he hung up, and I never heard from him again.
Oh, no.
I talked myself out of a job. In my defense, they would have eventually been like, wait a minute, this could be problematic. What if he's in secondary screening and we need to get here or there? Right. We should probably not go with an Ali Hassan for this particular gig. And yeah, I never heard from that man again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I got this call from a friend named Bernie.
You son of a bitch.
No. Because Marco Timpano has no problems going.
Yeah.
I
No,
should
he
knock
doesn't.
on wood.
He doesn't. We'll see about that.
Yeah, now that I've said
One call is all it takes from me.
Man.
My friend.
I'm sorry
Marco.
that turned the way it did.
Yeah. I mean, but it was so great. But it's funny because every time I'm in an airport, I think to myself, like, I could have been maybe interviewing one of these guys here.
Yeah.
What is the best airport meal you've ever had?
Oh, that's a great question.
Top 3 then, if it's too difficult.
I'm sure I've had a great meal. Oh, you know what? We had a great meal in the Vienna airport. my wife and I.
Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
We were in Vienna. You know when you get a stopover for 24 hours and you're able to sort of explore the city and then you have to get back to your next destination kind of thing. So I think it was we had gone to, I can't even remember, but we ended up in Vienna for a day before we were coming back home to Toronto. And we were at this little restaurant and I had told my wife, I go, Austria and Vienna are famous for the Zuckertorte, right? She's like, what is that? I go, I don't think you're going to like it. It involves chocolate and orange, and it's a cake and whatnot. So we go to this little place, and it was like breakfast time. And I'm like, oh, there's the Zuckertorte. I go, it has that shape on it, right? She goes, I need to have it. So I'm like, all right, we'll get a slice and coffee. And
Sounds amazing. Orange and chocolate is a great combo.
oh, have you never had a Zuckertorte?
No.
Oh, really? Okay, well. When I worked at a country club, we used to make it all the time, and I didn't like the way they made it. But I was proven wrong in Austria, where
Of
they
all
make it
places,
in
of
the
course.
airport, where you're like, of all places, that's not going to make a good
Yes.
Zuckertorte. Because it was, I think the Zacher Hotel is famous, and that's where it gets its name. I could be wrong, but we're in the airport in Vienna eating this cake with a cappuccino, and it's like, this is the best. She goes, why were you saying I won't like it? This is amazing. An idiot wouldn't like this. I go, well, no. I said like. I didn't think you'd like it. I never had it this good before. So that's one that I really remember. I think the Rome airport, too, has some really lovely little kiosks. And I had a pizza in the Rome airport that was out of this world.
Sure. I think the key is to fly international
Yeah.
because in the international, what do you call it, wing? No. In the international...
corridors or the terminal.
Terminal is the word I'm looking for. Those terminals are definitely a couple notches above. That's where like these chefs invest their money and their time,
Sure.
obviously, and it makes sense. It represents your city well to a whole this people with money. Let's just say the more people with money flying. And I fly a lot domestically, so I
Sure.
don't get I'll tell you honestly, Calgary and Vancouver. There's almost nothing.
Right.
There's like a Chili's, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not great, unfortunately. But Montreal's doing a great job. Although Montreal had this place where they would roast lamb inside this
What?
boxed glass oven, and they would have lamb on skewers, 3-4 going at a time. And so that place, I would just be like, I want your lamb and your Greek potatoes. Oh, you don't want the shallot, tzatziki. I'm like, yeah, tzatziki for sure, but I don't want the salad. I don't want. Let's just get right to what we're doing here. And that place closed down.
Oh, no. Wow.
And it's been replaced by Yule Pizza, YUL Pizza, YUL being the airport code for Montreal. So disappointed. God damn you.
So what are your favorite?
Well, so as I fly domestically, I go to places where, like, when I go to Toronto, this is my regular routine.
Okay.
I'm going for work. I don't take vacations without my family. I'm
Sure.
going for work. However, it's a fine line. So my work, because I love it so much, has a vacation feel to it.
Okay.
So this is my routine. I go to the Toronto airport and I start saying to myself, you don't need a beer at the airport.
No, you don't.
You do not need a beer at the airport.
No.
I go through, I get through the gates, security, repeat to myself, I don't need a beer. You don't need a beer.
Don't need it.
And then I go to my gate and I see the Mill Street restaurant. Mill Street is a brewery here in Toronto, and I just see the words Mill Street. I go, you idiot! You know you're going to have a beer at the airport. And then I sit down and I have a sausage and some beer, and it just puts me in the greatest mood.
Okay.
And I'm like, I just didn't need this. Like, nothing's even. I haven't even left the city I live in. Why am I having a beer at whatever noon,
Yeah.
11, whatever it is, whenever they start serving? I'm often there. And that's just like a regular thing that always happens in every single city. I go to the airport. I'm like, you don't need to.
Right.
You've had a great time. You've drank. You've eaten. You've done it all. Now you're going home. And I'm like, let me sneak one last one in. I treat my whole life like a vacation, if I'm being honest.
There is a restaurant in the O'Hare Airport in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what terminal it is. Sometimes we hit it, sometimes we don't.
You got a
And-
name?
No, I can't remember the name.
Type of cuisine?
Mexican.
Okay.
It is out of this world, and it's not Mexican. It's like Mexican panini, Mexican sandwiches. What do you call those Mexican?
Are we talking about empanadas?
Yeah, ish, but I don't. It's been so long since I found it too. It's in a certain terminal in O'Hare's. Ali's
I'm
looking
gonna look it up right
Okay,
now, yeah.
and it is hopefully still there, out of this world.
It's a near O'Hare. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a Rick Bayless thing? Is it like is it like a Rick Bayless?
Frontera Grill? No,
Frontera-
it's not
yeah.
Frontera
No?
Grill.
Okay.
Yeah, but nice call there. Nice All right, is it a?
Well, I don't know. We're just talking about celebrity
so
chefs.
you know that
whoever.
area of Chicago that has? Is it another one of Rick Bayless's restaurants? Damn, I can't remember. Anyways, that's an awesome place. Ali will look it up.
Okay.
I think the Mumbai airport I was in, and it was fantastic.
I bet it was.
Like just the area. It wasn't even like food courtish. You know how sometimes it can feel very.
Yes.
It didn't feel that way. There was like this living wall fountain, and it had like good separation between the restaurants. It was very vast. I remember having a good time there too.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking up Chicago. There's a lot of stuff. The Billy Goat Tavern and Grill is there. You know the Billy Goat?
Yes.
If for those of you old enough to remember this Saturday Night Live sketch, cheeseburger. Anyway, that's the Billy Goat is where that started, and so they brought that there. There's the Be Smooth Smoothie Bar, Bubbles Wine Bar, Burrito Beach. No, that's got to be. Chicago-style hot dogs you can have in 3 different terminals.
That's the problem. Chicago's so vast, right?
Yeah.
That you're depending which terminal you're in, you're going to get different cuisine.
Facares, which sounds like a dirty word.
Yeah.
A lot of farmers markets. Well, this is I believe, the busiest airport in America, O'Hare. At least at one point it was.
Yeah.
So, see, I would stop at the Goose Island Beer Company, and I've done that before. I actually recognize this picture.
So what do you look for in an airport restaurant? Since we brought up this topic.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, it's often the beers and the wine that it. If you got some sort of sports bar type of place that just basically has Coors Light on tap, I'm going to keep walking.
Okay.
But because you know how people, in Indian restaurants, people say, I'll try the dal, I'll try the lentil. And if they do lentils correctly, they're probably a decent restaurant. Like
Yes.
people have you probably have that with Italian food. Let me try this one thing. If it's good, then I'll order more.
That's right.
This is the way I look at beer. If you've had the foresight to have 6 or 7, micro brews and beers that really can open up. And I might not even try your double IPA. I probably won't. But the fact that you have one on tap and you have 7 or 8 different beers that are not all, Coors Light, Molson Canadian, Labatt Blue. If you have a variety of beers where it looks like you care about the palate of your customers. Now I'm going to look at your menu. And 9.5 times out of 10, it's going to be a great menu. That's the way I do it. I look at the beer and wine selection.
There you go. I got like a frog in my throat. Tortas Frontera at Terminal 1 in Chicago. So you're right.
Tortas are the sandwich.
Yes.
I'm an idiot for not. I
know
what you're
but,
talking about.
Yeah.
But it's Frontera. It's
it's Frontera.
Bayless.
Yeah, it is fantastic, my friend.
Okay.
It was one of my favorite because you asked my top 3.
Yeah.
So,
And given that Chicago is as busy as it is, odds are our listeners will have the likelihood of going there.
Yeah, and they'll be like, where was it? It's in Terminal 1. That's why I don't always get it.
Yes.
And sometimes we're racing.
Sure.
And we end up getting the Chicago-style pizza from the airport. I don't. Because it just looks gross. And my wife will get it. I'm like, why? She goes, we're in Chicago. I go, but that's airport Chicago pizza.
Yes.
And she's always has an upset tummy as a result.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that one.
Coming full circle.
Yes.
To the story that I told you to start this off. An interesting thing has happened.
Okay.
And the reason that I eat and drink at airports is because my name doesn't travel well, right?
Right.
Well, a number of Ali Hassans out there that did some bad stuff, and so my name was flagged for a long time.
Do you have a middle name that is like that is unflaggable?
This is the upsetting thing, dude. Faryar. I challenge you to find me another Faryar.
Right.
Not only that, Ali Faryar Hassan, born in New Brunswick, went to McGill University.
Right.
I mean, I have some very unique identifier. Like, why are you still?
Anyway, your middle name's not like Maverick or like
Goose.
Goose.
Yeah. The
Iceman.
Punisher. Yeah. I remember somebody meeting me and going, was this in Chicago? I think it was actually in Montreal, embarrassingly. I go, my name is Ali. And she goes, oh, like Chemical Ali. I'm like, why would you?
What is that?
Chemical Ali was Saddam Hussein's, the guy who got his hands dirty. Who killed a lot of Kurdish people.
Oh, okay.
His nickname was Chemical Ali.
What a horrible thing to say.
How about Muhammad Ali? How about one of the good Alis? What the fuck are you doing, Chemical Ali?
Who is this asshole? Like that's
I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah. This is a nightmare. Anyway, doesn't matter. But the point is that I go to the airport much earlier than most people. Some people like on the fly, hey, flight in 90, they suggest be there an hour and a half. I go there 61 minutes before. I'm great. I don't do that. I go 2 to 3 hours before my flight.
Right.
But lately, knock on wood, there has been no issues.
Okay.
There have been no issues, particularly with domestic.
Right.
The last time I was in secondary screening, I was going to L.A. Okay, I get it.
Right.
I'm going to be careful. I mean, I don't like it, but I get it.
Sure.
I mean, but if you really had like a strong operation here, you'd know who I am by now. I've gone to the U.S. so many times. I lived in the U.S. for a year and a half. Anyhow,
How is the food in secondary?
secondary screening, you get gruel.
Oh.
And I don't know if you've had gruel.
No, I haven't.
I recommend it so strongly. You don't get anything. You don't even get to use your phone, for God's sake. No, but they're very nice.
Sure.
They've become, it's almost like the best customer service in kind of a shitty situation.
Okay.
Like, hey, man, we're going to work to get you out of here as quickly as we can. Right. There's a lot of that, and I have no complaints there.
Right.
But anyway, now I go to the airport super early. And now it's like, oh, man, now I'm in. And now I got 2 hours and 15 minutes to kill.
Right.
And inevitably, beer, sausage, etc., right?
Wow.
It's like there's just too much time.
Yeah.
And you can pull out your laptop, your own Wi-Fi. It feels like you're working and drinking. It's not completely vacation. So I don't know. The fact that my name is what it is has led me to drink and eat more at airports, and it's been worth it.
There you go.
It's been worth
There
it.
you go.
Go to the airport early. Enjoy yourself. They have
Yeah.
great stuff for you there.
Not all airports, but if you know.
Not all airports. Regina, or whoever we want to name right now.
I was recently in the Regina airport.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, it was like they had it really well organized to get me to my connector. Like it was like, I remember we had very little time. It was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, will I make it to the other side of the terminal? And they're like, it's just over there. You're fine. You're fine. The flight is actually waiting for you. Don't worry. It's like, oh, that's right. Because you're so used to going. You know, when you're in Orlando and you've got to get to the other side of the world, it's the end.
I've done that in Atlanta. It was very unpleasant.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, so that's our airport. Let us know what your favorite airport is.
And we will talk about that, and we will post that
Yeah.
because people should know.
Yeah, tweet
people
us,
should have
Instagram.
a nice time at an airport. It doesn't have to be all drama.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All
There you
right.
go.
We'll see you again until we eat and drink again.
We hope you got your fill of Eat and Drink with Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast Eat Drink. Email them your cocktail and food suggestions to podcasteatdrink@gmail.com. Until the next episode, bottoms up.